Nicholas now with a 3K. And it's defended. Excuse me. The attackers defend. I don't want that to sound like that's a defender's win. I meant that was Nicholas defending that plant there. Nicholas finishing with the 4K. So a bit of a change up from Built by Gamers from the last couple of matches that we've seen.
Definitely. I love that pistol round being played there by Built by Gamers. The reason why, you had the Jet, right, being played as rob-wiz. He decided to updraft towards the top of the site that basically had so many players focused towards him. That gave a chance for Nicholas to move down towards that cubby side, get the kills on the rotates, but you gotta give it to Valiant that was playing on the top of that heaven side as that Cypher just wallbang and picking off every single person, almost clutching it down. Because you said defend, it was so close, right? It came down to the wire. They had to go for the plant. There was like, what, 5 seconds remaining into the round. So if Valiant actually got the kill and was able to fall back, then that was it. You had 100 Thieves win that pistol. And so far, it looks so good for Built by Gamers on that pistol and almost lost versus 100 Thieves. And this is a scenario that we've seen before in the last best out of 3 that we've casted, Built by Gamers versus Homeless, where they had so many situations, so many opportunities of man advantages, post-plan situations, and it's coming to their favor. So they're trying to turn things around now, at least to win that pistol. And now they have that money to work with too. They're punishing aggressive pushes from 100 Thieves, so they're playing super passively right now, and soon to look to split at least towards the seaside.
I really like the passive play here because they have the arms advantage. They've got these bulldogs, they've got the rifles, so you can use the distance to your advantage. That's also why I like trying to push C here when you know that they're going to be on pistols, possibly even shorties, like we see here though. The shorty connects, but it's not enough, and Hiko pops off with a double before falling to Nicholas, who uses that bulldog, gets another kill on Valiant as well, and it's a 2v1 as Pride here pushes in if he wants to try to defend this. The spike has been planted, and we see, there it is. And that's going to be an easy kill for Nicholas. Again, with the bulldog, having the rifles, they've got a big advantage at distance there. So, Built by Gamers, I like what I saw there. Play patient, use the range to your advantage. But now we're going to see a full buy on the side of 100 Thieves as they try to even things up.
Still going to give it to my man Hiko, though. Drive-bys with the classic burst shots. 2 immediate kills into that seaside, running up Garage. And again, I don't want to discredit Built by Gamers, and I don't want to like bash him as we're going through the rounds, but that should not be an opportunity for somebody to rush up Garage like that and being able to get 2 classic burst shots close range, might I say. He made it all the way to the default spot at the seaside to get those kills. So they need to cover each other's backs a little bit more, get better coverage as a team. And there you go. A smoke, a dark cover that came in from that Omen on defenders into that window side, gave a chance here for the operator to move forward and get that first kill. And a second one to fall down too. And the tides have turned immediately into this third round. A round where finally 100 Thieves have guns to work with. And they're totally punishing Built by Gamers at that point. But Built by Gamers, bonus round for them. They haven't really gone for a full upgrade or draw the Bulldogs to upgrade for rifles. You see Nicholas with the Phantom here, but they might still have Spectres and whatnot to work with. So we'll see what the last 2 players have. But it's gonna be a dark cover towards the back spawn. Hiko goes with the paranoia towards that front, teleport towards that right side, a left to the right, but Nicholas doesn't react fast enough as Hiko gets 2 easy kills. Get poor Dre onto the last one. So that's another Phantom on the ground. So that's 2 Phantoms on their side. So the money might not be so great here for Built by Gamers into this fourth round.
Yeah, the money might not be great, and that's not a great sign for them because we know on the side of 100 Thieves, not only is it full buy, but the operator is still in play in the hands of the Sova as well. Hiko absolutely looking fantastic after the teleport, then getting the double kill. Very good repositioning of the crosshair to line those up, and we see them sitting there with that 5 and 2. Nicholas, after 2 great rounds, at 7 and 1 on the side of Built by Gamers, but we're going to be watching Venerated here as they try to get some vision with this operator, but a lot of smokes, and that's how you combat that, blocking the vision as they now inch their way into what appears to be a garage push to get to C. And that wouldn't be that terrible here at the moment, considering nobody's really watching the garage exit with that operator at the moment. This is a good drone from Torque trying to get the info on where the opposing squad is. Doesn't really find anything, though.
Yeah, that's really interesting that they actually left the garage fully open right now for the defenders. That gives a chance now for rob-wiz to make it into the garage. But the thing is, they're not moving in with them. They're actually trying to go for a split, but the paranoia does not connect. They threw it at the wrong area. They didn't know that your boy Dre was on the top there at the site. So he gets 3 kills traded off, but it's a 2 versus 2 nonetheless. Not too bad for Built by Gamers. Pride swinging out. It's traded out as well. It's a 1 versus 1. 37 seconds left on the clock. It's Pythian picking up the spike, trying to move forward inside A. Actually, it's a 2 versus 1, sorry. I didn't see the lurker towards the A long as well. So Pythian's going to go all the way across with 25 seconds left on the clock. I don't think this is going to be it. He's going to notice that the time is going to be low. He's going to have to start making a lot of noise. And Venerated just on the other side there is probably going to hear him and get the kill. No, he's looking at the wrong area.
If he can get the swing on Venerated, he's got a legitimate chance to do this, but he's not looking in the right direction either, and they come right up to each other. Wow, Pythian pulls it off. So he's going to get this plant. So now we're going to have the 1v1 standoff, 2 ciphers against each other, but with this neural theft, you're going to know where they're coming from. So now it's just who can make the play. They're both kind of dancing around these angles, and wow, Valiant says no to Pythian. So this is going to be a defuse, and maybe taking your time a little bit, but...
He's looking for the operator. They're trying to tell him that the operator is towards spawn side, so he's looking back towards back, like, no, it's spawn side, it's spawn side. So as soon as he defuses, he's going to head towards that log side, pick up the operator, and that is going to be now 2 to 2. Oh, no, he already has one. Okay, there you go. He already has one. Yeah, so 2 to 2. Nice 1 versus 1. I think he even had a stab there for Pythian when he actually bumped chest towards that seaside. Thankfully enough, though, the no-scope didn't pay off for 100 Thieves. They were at least able to make it to 1 versus 1. Also building up the 300 credits for each player on the attacker side. That gives them a chance to have a really healthy buy into this one here. And also they have, actually, they're going to have to go against 4 ultimates now into this round.
Yeah, they've got 4 ultimates on the side of the defense, so 100 Thieves looking good in that situation. However, we did see Built by Gamers did have rob-wiz pick up that operator on offense. We know that's something that rob-wiz likes to do. I expect them to play slow and look for picks. If rob-wiz can win a duel with the operator, that's when I would expect them to push onto a site or potentially exploit a mismatch. And we see 100 Thieves being very aggressive, pushing up A there for a brief moment before backing out. That could have been a disaster if they walked right into the hands of Built by Gamers, because they are also taking their time, trying to navigate A. We see Hiko using this for information. I love the use of the ult there. So now they know exactly where they are. It's just a question of are they going to commit or rotate out. And Valiant is the one who takes out rob-wiz. That's huge. Of all the picks to get, that is a big one.
Definitely, as rob-wiz is one of the good ones that's able to get those entries possibles with the operator. Nicholas is even going to go into the shadows on the top heaven. He's being hit by the Brimstone Orbital Strike, and now you have a wide swing coming in from your boy Dre, who actually wins this versus Nicholas, so that nullifies any type of pincer coming in from A. They're only going to have to move from long and from short, and Valiant's still holding it down. Foe is at least able to trade it out. Torque opened it up as well, but Hiko already rotated too. And a missed operator shot from Valiant, punished by Foe. That leads it now to a 2 versus 1. He does have a run it back. His position is given away from the Sova arrow too. With his spike being down, he's going to pick it up here, and he's going to have to go for a full plant. This is going to give a chance right now. I don't know if there's a paranoia still available. No, they're going for shock darts. That's 1 and 2. Venerated knows how to line them up, and that is going to be an easy defuse coming in now for this Hiko player. And it's going to be 3 to 2. Picking up the double operator too. So that's going to be another dangerous obstacle for Built by Gamers into the next round.
I really liked the patience from 100 Thieves there. I've seen a lot of squads where if it's 2v1 and you hear somebody going for a last second plant, they'll both push out, and then sometimes they lose to just some lucky headshots. They instead said, all right, we have numbers on our side and we have these shock darts. We can try the shock darts. Even if it's just incidental damage, it'll make our job easier. Obviously, it paid off because time was on their side, but absolutely adore the patience shown by 100 Thieves there. So as this round starts up, Built by Gamers is looking to collect themselves. They got the first 2 rounds, but have since went 0-3, and they're going for a hard push into A with just their Cypher Pain back lurking, maybe trying to catch a pick as somebody pushes forward on C, but they're really committing to this A long, and rob-wiz falls to Pride before Nicholas gets the trade frag. Valiant here with the operator watching the A short angle. And as they creep forward, they're going to be met with Built by Gamers pushing through. We'll see if they can get that pick there as well. Bit of a standoff here. Here comes the run it back. I like leading with that, and Foe actually gets the pick there, so beautifully done. The Venerated here with the Hunter's Fury, also trying to line some up, doesn't really connect, however. And with that exchange, it actually looks like we're going to see a rotate from Built by Gamers as they are backing out of A.
I love it. Paying kind of like what we saw with Death before, too. The one that's lurking around as a Cypher now sees that C is clear. Nobody's really watching Garage at this point, though. He might hear the rotation coming across from the Nova. He gets the headshot there onto Venerated. Cybercade should come up, too, just to try to prevent any other type of rotations that are going to come by quick. So that's going to be an easy plant now for BBG. A res to come up towards the A side, too. They know that it's Pride that came up, so they know that res came from the A side. That means that Sage is there, too. Omen is far away. It might be in a position for them to just say, okay, well, we're going to save our weapons into the next round, and you can see it already. He goes holding back towards that spawn sign, and you have Pride moving it towards the spawn side. And also, of course, your boy Dre is going to be the last one to move up with them towards that A side. So it's going to be a round coming in here for BBG. It's going to be 3-3. But as you said here, Charmer, the execution that they had for the attackers is actually quite beautiful. To sell the bait from a run it back and to have the second player wide swing at the bottom of the ramp, right? And it's not a wide swing where he holds behind the run it back Phoenix in case they might get doubled up and get collateral. He went for the wide swing where the operator has to focus on either or, and usually he's going to go for the run it back guy because it's the closer and the first one that he spots. So the trade would have been perfect, but at least Foe got that kill without even needing to drop that run it back. And that gave a chance there for BBG to just rotate back to C and get that plant.
I love the call out for the rotation as well. You hit the nail on the head. This is exactly what we saw from Homeless. So it seems that Built by Gamers was very impressed with everything that Def had done for Homeless, and they executed almost the exact same strategy there, and it worked very, very well. So they are posturing again A. This seems to be kind of the default for now for Built by Gamers, as they have Cypher lurking. They have Pain over there watching the C side for pushes while they push up A. They're going to likely look for either picks or exchange utility, and then they'll decide whether they want to commit or not. Right now, Torque has the drone coming in, looking for info. It gets taken out quickly, but at least they know that Pride is there with the Brimstone, so they're going to have to take a swing of some sort there. Meanwhile, Pride catches rob-wiz out, and Valiant with a wallbang on BBG Nicholas, so that numbers advantage they were hoping for, those picks they wanted to get, instead they go in the other direction, and now it's a 2v5 as Sova retreats.
Yeah, even with a neural theft, that's going to be impossible for them to try to execute towards the A side. You see how aggressively they're pushing from the defenders too, but Torque still wins that fight versus your boy Dre. And mind you guys, a lot of people now in the chat looking, oh my god, a Sageless comp on Haven? It's actually been a Sageless comp forever in this series, in this tournament for Built by Gamers. They've been Sageless on this map. They've been Sageless on Ascent. They've been Sageless on Blind 2. They've just been Sageless, trying a different type of composition where into this round at least, they are into this map of Haven. They don't really have a second duelist to help out with the Phoenix, but at least they have the Jet that can make those solo plays. But on that previous round, Jet trying to make that solo play was rob-wiz that didn't really check the corner on the left side, thinking that it was clear when they threw the Hunter's Fury into the site. So he got punished by that, which basically gave a chance for that neural theft to be thrown by Valiant that continues to hold this A side with the operator and doing a good job at it too. So the two ops being a hassle right now for Built by Gamers at this point, at least this time now. We'll see if they have that money to work with. At least they have a Blade Storm to start.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting because C-Site has all but been abandoned, at least at the moment, from 100 Thieves, and that's exactly where they decide to push. So both teams kind of playing on the patterns of the other, playing into the predictability, and we see the plant coming down, but this is also paranoia coming from Omen as they're trying to set up a retake situation. All 5 players alive on both sides, but the plant is down, and we see them kind of lurking and pincering. Pain, though, he's going to be able to come up behind Pride and catches him for an easy headshot. So, again, maybe taking a page out of the Def playbook. Meanwhile, Torque with a double and Foe takes down Venerated. Flawless on the side of Built by Gamers, and that's going to be a 4v4 tied game.
Let me tell you guys something. The reason why that was like a pog shot there from Nicholas. the spray pattern is not as consistent as it is than when you're playing Counter-Strike, for example, right? So once you get to that 7th bullet, 8th bullet of a spray with a Phantom, the horizontal spray, if I'm not mistaken, is the one that's kind of like random, and you can't really control that too well. So to be able to spray down the garage for that long and still be able to do a flick and land a headshot onto Hiko, yes, of course, it's super close range, but they had that reaction time to be able to get that kill. It's still quite good. It's not easy to do. But at least with that, though, it was a buy that they had. It was a timing play as well from Payne playing towards that spawn side. rob-wiz this time wins that fight versus Valier towards sewers, so that opens up the A. So that's going to be the Cypher down. That means no more camera to look out. Anybody's going to be lurking towards the sewers. So this is going to be huge here for Built by Gamers to take advantage of. And it starts off with Torque with the Owl Drone to try to clear out that area. But again, a nice job there from BBG on that force buy that they had on that previous round, having Payne watching that flank, a timing play, because he almost let Pride come by, which could have been a huge for 100 people.
I love that kind of lurking play by Torque there. Used both the drone and the recon arrow to sell that they were still pushing A. You know the Cypher is down, so they can't check. Meanwhile, everyone else had rotated to C. We see rob-wiz picking off Hiko coming from that direction before Venerated evens it up with rob-wiz, but getting able to get this plant, get into these pre-plant positions is a huge advantage on the side of Built by Gamers. However, earlier in the tournament against Homeless, we have seen them kind of lose these situations. They sometimes get a little cocky, and we see your boy Dre with a pick on Bo and Nicholas. Pride also picks up Payne, and this is exactly what I was talking about. They get into great positions, and then they just can't hold them. And this is going to be a beautiful retake by 100 Thieves.
The story of Built by Gamers so far in this series that we've casted, like you said, the post-plant position does not pay off. But what happened there? Like, the Owl Drone came through towards that seaside from Venerated. And at the same time, you had two players looking at it, and nobody shot it off that fast, or they whiffed their shots, which gave a chance as they're like, holy crap, we actually didn't kill the Owl Drone. Let's try to focus it and kill it. It gave a chance for Pride and two other players to move inside the site and just sweep the floor with the blood of basically the attackers of Built by Gamers all across the seaside. So small mistakes that happened there, and actually a big mistake that happened there to not get rid of that Owl Drone that early. And now this is what I'm talking about. See, at least he shoots that Owl Drone. He gets out of position and safe into battling it out here once again. But the Hunter Seer is going to come out. That's going to tag him. Venerated trying to dodge the last one with success. Now a dark cover comes out. A run it back as well from the Phoenix move 4-2 from Foe, but it's actually denied. Now you have the Sova arrow that comes through across the slow orb towards Long Theme. This should be the call for Built by Gamers to fall back, and there you go. They're doing it.
Yeah, this is the right call, in my opinion, to fall back here. I think rob-wiz wants one more shot with that operator, being a little bit greedy here, but ultimately I expect them to reposition, and it actually looks like they might be considering either moving to B or going back through garage to site C if they can hear folks transitioning, and that might be the case. And of course, as always, they make a liar out of me. They're going to be pushing up into B, it would appear. We know that there are some 100 Thieves waiting for them in the wings and some utility going out here. And this is a great pick by Hiko before Pride takes down Foe and your boy Dre on Torque and rob-wiz. So they come funneling into Site B, and 100 Thieves is there to immediately answer.
Nice shot there from your boy Dre, 6-4, and that's, for me, a map like Haven to try to take over the B side is definitely difficult, especially when you don't have a Sage. We see a lot of default plays from the attacker side from any team whenever they're running with a Sage, that they or wall up the A side link or the C side link with, of course, the barrier wall, so they can come in and go for a plant while they have dark covers or brimstone smokes if you have a brimstone in the composition on the right side and back side, so you can be kind of safe. But at that point, when you don't have a Sage wall to come up and you're throwing dark covers instead because you don't have a brimstone to work with, then people are just going to try to spam through, and that's how they get the kills. So unfortunately it didn't work out, but at least for this round, Nicholas gets the first kill and a res, forces a res early into the round, so that's actually really good. And now even Amalia, hot hands on the ground. So Pride's going to burn for a second time. So that's a great way to start the round now for Built by Gamers. They wasted out the res. They have 3 ults to work with still. They're going to use it in the shadows to spot now the operator towards the back. But the right click from the Blade Storm does miss. But Torque Elise through the Cyber Cage does get the headshot onto Venerated. And they're going to be able to move inside the seaside and get a plant.
So the question now is, can they actually defend post-plant? Yes, they have a numbers advantage, but we've seen this time and time again from them. Once the spike goes down, it's almost like their game plan just kind of goes out the window. They don't feel comfortable to me after they get this, or they're losing to the swing peaks, but right now, with all of them coming from CT, you would think it'd be easy, but Hiko again hits Payne, your boy Dre also catches Nicholas. Bo finally catches Valiant with the headshot on the Sheriff. And Bo here also trying to keep things going, gets the triple kill. So they do defend, but again, very dangerous there. 2 players were very low. I feel like if they can clean that up on offense, Built by Gamers will be a squad to be reckoned with. They're very good at the initial push. It's just post-plant where they seem to struggle.
Yeah, and I think one of them only had a sheriff at that point. I think Foe only had a sheriff, and he got a kill at least with that. So maybe they didn't have that much in terms of economy to work with Ford. And you got to give it to Foe at least on the execution on the A side too, right? Getting a kill, getting the hot hands, putting the numbers on their side, bring the economy up into this last round of the half, giving a chance now for Built by Gamers to have a full gun round in the last round of the first half. And it's going to be them once again trying to move forward towards the sewers, trying to get an opening. But you do have Pride just holding around the corner. That camera's going to bait him out. But a chicken, not fast enough though. They just did a half-ass check actually. Poe went for the 90 degrees, went for a pre-fired shot, but never really committed to it because the angles in the 50-50 peak from in Valorant is so much deeper than Counter-Strike. So you go for a 90 degree, you kind of see him, but too late. By the time you react, it's like, holy crap, he's actually there. The first player that calls it out, holy crap, he's actually there. The 2 other players at that point are focused on trying to get the Cypher that might be peeking out towards sewers. And as nobody now last second realizes that Pride is there, it's just easier for him to line up those shots. So big mistake, costly, cost them a round actually, to make it 7-5 for the first half for 100 Thieves.
That's one of those moments where trust in your team actually backfires because the first person peeks and both the other players see him take that peek. And the minute that he gives the call out, they just blind trust it. They keep going. They walk right into an ambush. And unfortunately, as you said, that cost them the round, essentially. Pride with that 3K cleaning things up. But they've switched sides. That was the half. So now we get to see what Built by Gamers can do on defense. And we saw during their match with Homeless that was a bit of a struggle for them. And that makes sense because they've been struggling with their post-plant positions as well. So for whatever reason, on Haven, Built by Gamers has struggled a bit to hold angles and win these fights. And right now we're going to see a play for A as 100 Thieves has pushed in. They're taking control of the site. The plant is going down now. So it's going to be up to Built by Gamers to execute this retake.
Yeah, full 5 versus 5 retake. So it's going to be a very messy round as we're closing in here into the final seconds. The clock is still ticking on that spike, and they hear so many big footsteps from rob-wiz that went all the way to be back towards spawn so they could call it out. Everybody's coming from spawn, guys, but Foe still manages to get 2 kills, 1 towards that hell. Now jumping up towards the air, Venerate does get the kill, but at least the information's there. 2 more to fall, 1 remaining. It's your boy Dre, headshot on the torch. They're trying to get on this. A second kill, almost out of bullets. Nicholas finally kills him, and now they should have enough time for the defuse. Yes, they will. It's going to be 7-6, all thanks to our dark cover that came in there from the defender side to prevent any type of display being shown, at least from or sprays or line of sight onto the spike for 100 Thieves to win that pistol. So great job there for BBG.
Yeah, it was a wonderful job from them, and we can see now that there is going to be at least some partial buys. A couple of folks on the side of Built by Gamers opting for the Bulldogs. We see rob-wiz going to decide to take this Marshall, and that makes a lot of sense. Again, rob-wiz is the operator player for this squad. Torque is going to be picking up, it looks like, a Spectre as well, so only Foe deciding to hold on to his pistol from the previous round, and it appears that 100 Thieves is going to go with the exact same game plan. This is all up A short, as 5, as a squad, and if they can actually push out and take this site, they'll have complete control of it. But the problem is with all 5 coming out, you're going to be walking right into these Bulldogs, and Payne makes short work at the first one before spraying some more. Doesn't get any kills, but got a lot of damage out before Nicholas cleans up 2. Foe catches one with a hot hands as well, and it's a 3v1 scenario now for Venerated. Make that 3v none. Foe finishes Venerated off, and so that's a 2-0 start to this now that they have switched to defense for Built by Gamers.
It was such a great job, too, by Built by Gamers on that retake. And especially on that 3 versus 1, knowing that, hey, they're on an eco. There's a possibility these guys are playing corners inside smokes with shorties as well. So they just waited out for the Omen smoke to dissipate so they could move forward and try to get some kills. And at the same time, they seem to be okay to actually let that last player actually get a spike plan if they wanted to and play a 3 versus 1 under retake. So good display of patience, good display of respect to 100 Thieves, and capitalize at least on the win on the mistake from the push in the end. So I run it back from Bo to start things out towards that B side. Oh my god, the wall bang is actually not so bad, actually. It looked good through the wall because we are in observer mode, but if you're looking at the HP, nothing really connects because they're still hiding behind the haystacks, if you're actually noticing that part. So that is going to be it. Actually, observers, even though we have the X-ray, but at least they were tagged right from that Sova arrow. So it was fully protected from the haystack. It's going to be 7-7, and everybody is once again moving up towards the A side for 100 Thieves, Tarmer.
Yeah, they are, and this is going to be a full buy on the side of 100 Thieves, but as we can see here on Built by Gamers, Payne getting work done with the Spectre before falling, but did not have a full buy. Payne was the only one on the side of Built by Gamers that didn't have the funds to quite do what they needed to do. So the fact that they got a trade kill despite being on the Spectre is a pretty big deal for Built by Gamers. 100 Thieves has moved in, they're planting now, but this actually might be a benefit to Built by Gamers. They've been doing better when they had to be aggressive or when they're retaking, so perhaps this is going to be their strategy going forward, is finding out where they're going, seed the position, and then go in for the retake. We can see now, for example, the Omen is lurking back at spawn, slowly moving into site A as we see both these Omens potentially running into each other, and Foe steps out and catches a kill. rob-wiz with one as well. Now Nicholas does catch Hiko on that lurk, so this is 2v1. Oh! Make that a 2v none. Nicholas on your boy Dre, and this will be a defuse for Built by Gamers.
Yeah, definitely, as you mentioned before, if they're good on these retakes right now, it looks a lot better than the Built by Gamers that I've seen versus Homeless on this very map, right? They lost, what, 13-1, 13-2? It didn't look too good at all when we watched them play on that previous map. But against 100 Thieves, it seems as though they've brushed up on the retake plays and it looks a lot cleaner than what. Well, actually, did they have a lot of chances to play defense against Homeless? What side did they start with?
I was under the impression they started on defense because Homeless was...
That's it, because Death kept lurking around and killing him all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely a lot cleaner than what they did versus Homeless on that previous best out of 3. So I like that. I like what I see from them right now. And the flanks were perfect too. At that point, it puts now 100 Thieves on an eco where they're breaking down the doors, and they're probably just going to try to move as a group to get a plant. I think even though they're kind of lined up here in this garage, I think it's just to take early garage control, but they might still end up B here because they could put a wall up towards the spawn side and pinch towards B. This is something that I've seen Oxygen Supremacy do. Let's see if they're going to do the same thing.
Yeah, they are all 5 in this enclosed space, and this is one of those things where, well, that's Foe picking off Valiant as he steps out of the garage, but I was about to say this is one of those things where you can feel more comfortable doing this when the opposing squad doesn't have a raise, and that was a flawless, easy round on the side of Built by Gamers as they just one by one picked off 100 Thieves as they exited the garage. When everybody's in that enclosed space, you kind of have no choice but to walk out into the open, and until you can figure out where they're at, get those trade frags, do those things, it's not going to work out well for you. And that kind of one by one exit strategy just did not pay off for them.
Yeah, so they definitely didn't do what I thought they were going to do as Oxygen Supremacy does. So the reason why I say that, so what's the strat? So once you have all the players inside the garage, you jump inside the window, and then once you get towards that back entrance of the garage, you actually wall off the spawn side, so everybody throws through or curves through towards the C link and rushes inside the B site. that would have been an opportunity for 100 Thieves to actually go only on a 5 versus 1 inside that B side. I think there was only one player playing inside the B on that link towards C. That would have given them the advantage at least to go for a plant, because they were on an eco at that point. The mission was to get the spike down. And if you're going to try to go 1 by 1 with the player playing so far back towards the platform and another player cross-running from the spawn side, it's actually hard to get into the site, especially when he threw a molly towards that side too, that prevented anybody from moving forward. That being said, though, 9-7. You do have a In the Shadows coming out from Nicholas that's going to try to save himself away into the spawn side, but at least the information is there. That's a nice way to counter, actually. Sometimes you have the In the Shadows to move towards the position to get it, but now he actually went for a body check and teleported it away. Now they do a little bit of damage that's going to have to be topped up, so they waste up the res early into the round, and the 100 Thieves are now all booking it back here towards the garage.
Yeah, clearly at 100 Thieves had some sort of strategy for the garage, and they want to go back to it this time around. This time it does appear they're just going to exit to C. They expect it to not be habitated, and that is the case. We do see on the side of Built by Gamers, the Cypher backed away, waited for his squad, decided not to be a hero. That's a great choice by Payne. And so we're going to see this retake, but Valiant lurking, doing his death impression, catches 2 before Payne eliminates him. And Built by Gamers also might have the problem with this Omen lurking. Pico does in fact eliminate Nicholas there, so all signs are pointing toward this being a 100 Thieves win. There it is. They catch another round win, close that gap, and just like we saw with Homeless, this is a very close back and forth game between Built by Gamers and another squad.
Yeah, and like I said in that other best out of 3, what could I have done actually for Built by Gamers to have a better successful rate on post-plant situations or just communication in general to be able to win rounds? It's to try to get rid of the lurker, try to get rid of depth. And they know and they realize how Valiant is playing a very similar style, and they have actually rob-wiz watching that flank before. But the thing is, Valiant came out, rob-wiz still got the first shot, but rob-wiz did not get the kill. And because of that, Valiant was able to get 2 kills onto the Phoenix, onto foe at the same time. That gave a chance for 100 Thieves to win that one. If not, it would have probably been another situation where, you know, Built by Gamers will have a great retake and make it a closer round, but because they lost 2 players so early because of Valiant's lurk, it came into a round of 100 Thieves. So 9-8, one more round here for 100 Thieves to try to tie things up into this matchup. Nicholas is in a great position under the window, but they're actually, but they're clearing it. They were clearing it, but because of that, they killed full at the beginning. They have a neural theft. Now his position's given away.
Yeah, it was a beautiful position, but unfortunately just didn't get a chance to capitalize on it. And as a result, Built by Gamers is falling here. Pride picking off Torque there at the end, so now it is a 2v5 scenario. They're getting this plant on C, and you can already see 100 Thieves pushing out to C long to circle around. Payne does catch Venerated here, though. Is likely going to back up and just take a save, and I think I agree with this. The economy has been a bit wild for both teams because it's so back and forth. Nobody's really able to generate a lead, kind of bank that up. So if you can save a rifle, I think this is the right call, but it's got to survive Pride here. And he gets a jumping headshot. Beautifully done by Payne. Kind of swinging. Knows that folks are likely looking for him. But again, this is clearly just save scenario for Payne, and this is going to be 9-9 after the eventual win here. Again, 100 Thieves has this kind of locked down. And he is going to survive this. So, Built by Gamers has got to do something on defense here. They were doing a great job earlier. 100 Thieves have answered back. They've started lurking a little bit more. We saw Nicholas had the opportunity. He was in a great spot by that window and then just didn't capitalize. If they can stop missing those opportunities, it'll work out well for them.
Yeah, definitely. But I think there was 2 things. There was one that they actually didn't jump out the window. Second one is that they actually didn't try to get towards that B side where they could actually get the backstab. And actually the third thing, that the neural theft that was thrown out, they knew he was playing at that window too. So it was unfortunate. It was a great idea, but it just didn't turn out into the gamble that he wanted to because it didn't come towards him on that side. And even into this round, they lost a player early, and that's going to be rob-wiz falling down too towards the sewers, where he's trying to get an early opening all the way on the top, thinking that his aim could actually maybe take down one or two. But you saw that there's one that's topped off. The Sage res is actually, or the Sage heal, sorry, is on cooldown because Hiko is still at about 20 HP. So at that point, he tried to do enough damage, but he didn't really have anybody there to help him for a trade. So after a few seconds, that's not gonna do any difference because Hiko will get healed up, and it's gonna be back on a 5 versus 4, or a healthier 5 versus 4. Foe actually makes it a 4 versus 4 now as they're going for a double push. That's what I was talking about. Go for a buddy system, it works out now. Heal to combat, that tops up Hiko, but at least the Brimstone is also down as well. So they're all falling back now. Pride is low on HP. They're moving into B. They're gonna get a plant with 30 seconds left on the clock. And let's see if BBG can play the retake again.
Yeah, we saw the Sage wall go down there as well, and you know, we've talked about it a bit before. The lack of a Sage on the side of Built by Gamers has prevented them from making these kinds of plays, but on the other side, 100 Thieves able to really set up some quality defense here, slowing things down with the wall, then the slow. Now Hunter's Fury goes out and actually catches Nicholas, but Torque and Foe move in from the other side and catch a pair of kills, so they have a shot at getting this defused. Venerated slows things down, gets a pick on Foe though. Pain makes Pride pay. Pain makes Venerated pay. Are they going to have enough time to get this defused? Yes, they will. It's not doing the fast tick yet, so great retake on the side of Built by Gamers.
Yeah, and even the molly that he tried to throw, I think they were trying to land that right onto the spike, but it landed a little bit off. It was actually landed where if you want to plant safe for the spike inside the corner safely so you don't get sprayed from the link side, then it would have been perfect. But because they actually had a Sage wall up towards the A link, Hiko wanted to plant at a different spot, more out in the open, that could come from a spray if somebody was able to fall back towards the B cubby, so that they could win that 1 versus 1, but they didn't, or at least the 1 versus X. But at that point, everybody rotated out, and it was very aggressive pushes going in from the defender side of Built by Gamers. And once again, a retake play that pays off so well here for BBG. I'd love to see, once we get into this next gun round, once we have that scoreboard up, how many defuses actually came across so far in this half for this team. But Hunter's Fury come out from Torque. He lands with the first, lands with a kill onto Venerated as Nicholas gets one as well, pushing all the way down towards C, all the way up towards spawn, and that is going to be the res down on top of that too. So your boy Dre falls, that's no heals coming through. Your boy Dre, who usually plays a lot of Phoenix towards that beta, when they still had Vegas into the roster playing as high grounds, you see now that with Hiko coming in, the agent selection has changed a lot, where you don't have your boy Dre playing as a Phoenix anymore, and he's pretty much locked up as a Sage.
Yeah, I loved the lurk there that was on the side of Built by Gamers. Nicholas pushed all the way up C. Again, I cannot help but think that they were heavily influenced, I'll say, by that game with Homeless, because they have executed many of the same strategies trying to catch somebody on the flank, and now we see rob-wiz dives in before getting punished by Valiant. Hiko, Pain, Foe all catching some kills as well. Flurry of action, but it comes down to just Hiko now trying to defend the spike, but unable to do so. Foe finds him, and this will be a defuse by Built by Gamers, and they will extend their lead 11-9.
Yeah, I wonder who who threw that paranoia. I'm assuming it was a paranoia not thrown by Hiko. It was actually a team paranoia, because they probably want to throw the paranoia and then give a chance for rob-wiz to get in and try to get some kills with the Blade Storm. But I think he dashed in a little bit too fast and dashed faster than the paranoia and was fully blind when he moved into the site. And even him being full blinded or nearsighted, he's not going to get any information as he gets killed. So his teammates actually had to play with a lot into the unknown on that retake, rather. At least it paid off. Another round here, and you see it right now. What, that was 5 defuses that they have so far in that half? 4 defuses and 1 spike that went off. So they actually let 100 Thieves plant 5 times into this half, and he won 4 out of 5. Now Foe actually moved in with the run it back, saw a lot of players fall back into the spawn, at least didn't see the spike though, so that's a moment of salvation for 100 Thieves, but they know that they're playing super passively towards that spawn side, so they can take advantage and play aggressively if they want to off that.
Yeah, I think 100 Thieves is also looking to play a little passive here, because we've seen Built by Gamers be aggressive with the push-outs, trying to, again, do what they saw Homeless do, right? Catch you with the flanks, catch you with the lurks. Even now, as I'm saying it, we can see Foe coming from C-side. He's going to run into this tripwire, so eventually he'll have to give up that information that he's there. Going to wait a bit, see if he can catch somebody before fully tripping it. And it's going to be close, but I think they're going to hug the wall there, not giving them line of sight. And rob-wiz does get the kill before getting out of the way of the orbital strike. Well done, but Venerated gets a pair of kills with that Bulldog. And your boy Dre takes down Nicholas after he traded. So a lot of action there, but 100 Thieves has moved in. They have a numbers advantage, 4v2. The spike has been planted. So it's up to Foe, who we know has been lurking around all the way from Site C along. And then we have Torque on Sova coming from the other direction as well. And I don't think they're going to be able to get this retake, but this is more about, I think, trying to deny economy. Kiko takes out Foe on the swing. And on that note, I think Torque is just going to go ahead back up and save. And so this should be around going over in favor of 100 Thieves. Closing that gap, it'll be 10-11 at that point. And again, nobody really jumping out ahead of the other. Very back and forth game, very close. I like what I'm seeing from both squads in terms of answering what the other ones are doing. So this time around, we saw 100 Thieves play very passive to try to counter the push-ups. This is a bit of a chess match.
Definitely, and I think of that round though, you're right by saying econ damage, because what, they won 2 rounds in a row, 3 rounds in a row for Built by Gamers. They have the economy on their side, getting 3,000 credits every round that you win, whether you're on attacker or on defender. So they had the economy coming up, but that, with the way that they opened up towards the A side, it was perfect. I mean, the only mistake and the biggest mistake was that they got caught throwing the neural theft onto the body instead of really focusing on any aggressive pushes first. So because of that, Payan got caught holding a hat in his hands. He gets killed. At the same time, rob-wiz falls. So any type of defense or opposition to prevent the attackers from moving in and get a plant towards the A side was fully taken over by 100 Thieves. So aggressive play on their side, running through the cyber cages too. They ran in with no fear, no fear, all fury. They actually got those kills and the easy plant to come through after. But this round though, you do have a judge being in the hands of Nicholas as Pride is trying to move forward. Oh, it's pinged out though. Okay, no, they're just pinging out smokes. So he's pinging out. He's gonna smoke out towards spawn on the A side. But as he moves forward, it's gonna have to be that gamble. He was the one that got a 3K on that last round before, and now he's moving forward with his iPad.
Oh, he steps forward.
He's going to get punished for that one.
The timing was so good for that step forward. You kind of just had a feeling somebody might be there. Something was going on. What a beautiful play by Nicholas. And now Foe picks off Hiko before falling. Venerated gets a pick on Torque as well. So now it's going to be 3v3. But I absolutely adored that play by Nicholas stepping up. But now we're going to have to see BBG on a retake situation. Spikes planted on C. And with that last pick, it's going to be 2 folks. It's a 2v1. The other 100 Thieves members went out to lurk, so they're actually a bit away from this Sage, not here to support her. Payne does get the kill on your boy Dre, so with one person kind of faking the defuse there, they draw out the Hunter's Fury, but rob-wiz catches Valiant, and so now with the defuse going, there's no way Sova can close, and Payne, with that elimination, secures this defuse, and now it's going to be match point in favor of Built by Gamers.
So who would have thought here, chat, that we might see a 12-10 first map in favor here of Built by Gamers? I'm thinking, though, that when we were in the lobby, that I do remember, I think it was Venerated that says we want defender sided first. So this should be Built by Gamers map pick on Haven. And despite them losing to a one-sided affair versus Homeless, 13-1, 2, or 3, whatever it was a spanking. They still were confident going into this one, and are looking very close to actually win this first map moving into the second one. So great job so far by BBG, despite the fact that both of these two teams will not make it over into the bracket play tomorrow for the PAX Arena. They still did a very good job, at least on their side, to put up a good fight against 100 Thieves so far. So thank you, Prius, by the way, in the chat saying that we do have a pause. So we're just waiting here to see what the issue is. Of course, we don't know if it's ping or not because everybody's 0 - 1 when you're looking at the scoreboard. But with your boy Dre still stuck with the Sheriff, I don't know if actually he didn't really have money to work with either. So they're really on a low buy into into this map point in favor of BBG.
Yeah, they've got the low buy, but it is, of course, a force buy. You can't save your credits for the future if there is no future, so they're going to do what they can with what they
Or they
have.
can't.
And
What? No, you don't like that joke? Fine, okay. That's
no,
fine.
I adore it, actually. I'm a little upset. I made some wordplay during our last match, and chat wasn't a big fan of it. Apparently, they don't like my dad jokes and my boomer humor. Us guys in our 30s apparently don't know what's funny, so
That's right.
I
That's right.
appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. But we'll have the unpause now. So like we said, it's map point here for Built by Gamers. We only have a sheriff for one of the players here of 100 Thieves. The rest with Phantoms, maybe Vandals too, but they're actually looking to push aggressively towards the A side.
And if they do, they're going to be walking right into Nicholas. I like the pre-fire there. You see the cage go up. You assume they might be using that for cover to get into short. You also see rob-wiz, who was pushed up, but I think he's deciding to back out because he doesn't want to get ambushed, maybe swung on by 2 or 3 players at the same time. Going to play it safe, back up a bit. And I think this is going to be posturing. I have a suspicion that 100 Thieves is actually going to back out there and see if they can catch folks out of position as they either push out or rotate over, because we've seen Built by Gamers do just that. On Site A specifically, if 100 Thieves is pushing there, traditionally they've had somebody pushing down Site C. This time around, though, it's actually Torque holding down Site C with the Sova, using the drone right now to scout things out, so they know that nobody's there quite yet. And both teams playing very passive here, playing very slow. They kind of know that the game is on the line, and they want to find an opening. More utility going out, more firing through the smokes, but no real hard engagement quite yet.
Yeah, it seems a little hard engagement. There's a lot of sprays, though, with the Phantom through the walls of the garage. A trap wire that's been initiated now by Venerated is trying to move forward, but it's Torque just around the corner behind the default boxes, looking for the first one to peek out, but they actually lure the bullets away, so he gives away his position. Meanwhile, we are pushing inside B, but Nicholas wins that fight. A second spray through the dark cover as Pride falls. rob-wiz, you heard him dash across. There's only 12 seconds left on the clock. There's no time left right now. 10 seconds. They have to go in for the plant. Hiko is in a dark cover. There's 5 seconds left. He gets killed. This is it. It's going to be 13-10 in favor of BBG, Built by Gamers, over 100 Thieves on Haven, their map pick, and we'll wait to see what the second one's going to be.
I really liked what I saw from Nicholas that particular game, because we saw a plenty of lurking. Again, I cannot help but think that they were influenced by their game against Homeless, because they lost to lurking. They lost hard to lurking. They came back. They started doing it pretty consistently here. They didn't do it every round because they were trying to avoid being predictable, but it paid off. It paid off in a big way. You see Nicholas here with the most frags on his team, tied with 22 with Foe there. But this is a really close matchup. I could see 100 Thieves coming back and 100% taking away map 2, for example, because they were very good at adapting. It just came down to, I think, the tide breaking in favor of BBG there at the end.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the scoreboard too. We're talking about plans, how good actually Built by Gamers were good on the retake. So if you're actually looking at it and you're trying to add up the tally for both sides, there's actually going to be 8 plans from both sides. So that means that they're playing both teams a way to play retakes. So both teams actually have stronger plays for retakes on this map as they do for pulse plant situations. Something they could learn going into watching the VOD reviews into future matches. So try to figure out how can we actually play better pulse plant situations for both of these teams to actually bring a lot more power or a lot more strength and intimidation. That's the word I'm looking for on Haven the next time they have to meet against an opponent on this map.
Yeah, I also want to give 100 Thieves a lot of credit for, in many ways, shutting down rob-wiz. We barely called his name, it felt like, throughout that, and you see him at the bottom of the scoreboard there, both in terms of kills, but also died 17 times, and rob-wiz is a great player. He's fantastic on Jet, specifically with an operator, and I think 100 Thieves did a great job of kind of keeping the pressure on Built by Gamers, because with the exception of, I think they went on that one, 3-round win streak, they never really built the lead where they felt like they could afford to buy operators. And we know that's something they like to do. They didn't this time, but they did end up with the map win. So maybe it works out secretly in their favor. because the thing with the operators is it's high risk, high reward. And sometimes you take those risks and it doesn't pay off, specifically in the credit game. So maybe by keeping things a little bit close, that